Hello everyone, it's Shannon here for Waffle Flower Crafts. In today's video, we are going to create this really sweet card featuring several products from the new Sneak Peek Kit number 5. First, let's take a quick look at all the products included in kit number 5. First is the Mini Sentiments stamp set. This is a great set with some scripty sentiments, some linear sentiments, even some hearts. We also have included the Sub Sentiments Hugs die cut. I've actually opened this up and detached some of the Sub Sentiments already. And then there's these 3 die sets, starting off with the Oversized Hugs print die. This is a great word die set. Then you have the Hugging Hands die set. I love that one. And then this awesome inside pop-up XO die, which creates a really cool pop-up element on the inside of your cards. I'm actually going to start with the A2 layers die, just to die cut a rectangle. Of course, you can always use your paper trimmer instead. This rectangle is 3 3/4 by 5, and I used the third die from the A2 layers die set. Now I'm going to grab the Oversized Hugs print, and I'm going to die cut the Hugs word itself out of some glittery white cardstock. And then I'm going to grab the shadow layer die, so the larger die in that set, and I'm going to die cut it out of some vellum. We're going to create a stacked sentiment here. I've got my vellum already die cut out, and I went ahead and die cut a second Hugs out of some plain white cardstock. We're going to start by adhering the plain white cardstock Hugs directly to the shadow vellum layer with some liquid adhesive. Once I get that in place, I'll then grab that glittery Hugs, add some liquid adhesive to the back side of this, and then I'll adhere it on top of the cardstock Hugs. And this is just going to create a little bit of dimension with that little bit of layering of that white cardstock underneath. Just a subtle, but definitely makes it pop up more. Really, really pretty. Now we're going to move on to this awesome paper pad from Waffle Flower. This is the JJ Rainbows paper pad. I've chosen a stripy sheet from that, cut it in half. So I have 2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 panels. I've grabbed one of those panels, and then I'm going to grab this heart die from the Hugging Hands die set, and I just want to die cut one of the hearts out, so I positioned it in such a way that I didn't die cut the second one. After I die cut it, I did do a little bit of trimming here with my scissors to kind of round the edge a little bit, and that heart is going to go behind our Hugs, just kind of a nice like focal point behind that Hugs. Now I'm going to grab the hands from the Hugging Hands die set, and I'm going to position them so they look like they're actually hugging the word Hugs, which I think is cute. Just a nice different way of using this set where you can hug things besides the heart. You can hug other die cuts as well, maybe even images if you want to use things outside of the kit. Once I got them in the position, I then used a couple pieces of tape to hold those dies in place, removed the heart and the Hugs, and then ran it through my die cutting machine. And now I have these cute little arms and hands that kind of pop up, and they'll hug our die cuts so beautifully. We're actually ready to bring or pull everything together. I'm going to start by adding some 1/16 thick foam adhesive strips from Waffle Flower to the back side of that Hugging Hands panel. And then I will remove the backing on that foam adhesive, and then I will place this down onto the front of an A2 top folding craft card base. And then we'll grab our rainbow heart. I've already added some foam adhesive to the backside of that as well, and I'm going to lift up those hands and tuck that heart kind of in between them and a little bit over to the left side. Then I'll position my Hugs between those 2 hands as well, and I've already added some 1 layer of foam adhesive to the inside letters, the U and the G, but for the H and the S, I got to double up my foam adhesive because it hangs off. Those parts of the sentiment hang off of or past the heart, so they need to be doubled up because that heart has foam adhesive. So I've actually rolled kind of that foam adhesive back on itself, folded it back on itself to double it up, and I'm just adding it to the S and the H on our Hugs die cut. I went ahead and removed all the backing on the foam adhesive on the back of that die cut, and now I'm going to position it over the heart and between those 2 hands, so it looks like the hands are reaching out past the heart and hugging the word Hugs, which I think is just so cute overall. Now I'm going to grab that Sub Sentiment Hugs die cut set, And I'm just going to pull off this sending paper sub-sentiment. When it's combined with the hugs, it'll say sending paper hugs, which I think is super cute because we are actually sending a paper hug. I am going to add some foam adhesive to the backside of my sub-sentiment. I did end up doubling up the foam adhesive a tiny bit on the right side because I'm placing this sub-sentiment over the heart, but a little bit of it hangs off past the heart. I then removed the backing on my foam adhesive, and now we're ready to stick it down onto our card front. Once we stick this down, we are actually done with the front of our card. It's a very dimensional card front, but I think it works really well because it's pretty clean and simple. I did decide to add a little bit of liquid glue to the backside of our hugging hands just so they lay a little bit more flat and don't get caught on anything when you pull the card out or put it back into the envelope. And here again is that finished card front. Super pretty and fun and clean and simple. Now I'm going to do a little bit on the inside. I've decided to grab the inside pop-up XO die and die cut it out of that remaining bit of JJ's rainbow paper that we have. And then we end up with this beautiful rainbow stripy XOXO pop-up element. I'm now going to fold it along all the fold lines or fold areas. They are indicated with like these little stitching, and they fold so beautifully. They're very easy to fold down, and they're all mountain folds. 3 mountain folds in total, and I'm just using my score tool to just kind of reinforce them. You'll be left with this kind of rectangle-like pop-up XOXO. I'm going to add some liquid adhesive to the smaller side, smaller edge, and then I will glue that down so that it lines up with the fold in the inside of our card. And it is a little bit smaller than 4 1/4, so you're going to want to center it inside your inside that fold area in your card. Once I get it kind of centered up, I'll then hold it in place just for a second, and then we will grab our liquid adhesive and add the last remaining adhesive to that back area, which will line up again with the back of the card, and then you'll just kind of fold it over to kind of seal everything down. And that's all you have to do to kind of make this really super simple pop-up element on your card. Isn't that so fun? I decided to leave it just the white, or the back of the paper is white, and I just decided to leave it that way because I thought that was plenty of contrast. You could, of course, get a little piece of craft cardstock if you wanted to kind of make it craft behind the letters, but I thought I had plenty of contrast just with the white by itself. And that actually completes the card. I hope you guys enjoyed checking out the sneak peek kit and creating this really fun, sweet Hugs rainbow card.